Political correctness is everywhere, on campus, in the workplace. These days, people self-censor their statements knowing that the slightest off-color remark might end up triggering some precious little snowflake, and if that sensitive person goes running to the HR department or a human rights tribunal, well, you're probably in for a world of hurt. But you know, there's always been one last bastion, one last safe space for politically incorrect language, a place where one could say things that were offensive or sexist or racist, and that last solitary outpost of political incorrectness was the roast. Hey, does anyone remember those classic Dean Martin celebrity roasts of yesterdecade?
Can a black man ever become president? He said yes, if he runs against a Mexican.
One of the greatest black men of our day, Rufus Johnson, said in Augusta, Georgia, "Run, baby, run!" And the Jew was right behind him saying, "Look, I'll sell you a bike."
I was never so embarrassed in my life. This first time in synagogue, the rabbi walked out. Sammy jumped up and hollered, "Here come the judge."
Yes, at a roast, you only crucify the ones you love. Well, not anymore, apparently. Alas, it looks like the roast is no longer insulated when it comes to social justice warriors and progressives who are triggered by mere words. Case in point, recently there was a gathering of Canada's top Arctic scientists. Part of that gathering involved a gala banquet that included a roasting of Martin Fortier, the retiring head of ArcticNet. Now, Fortier is a francophone, and he has a bit of a reputation for misspeaking certain English phrases. That's understandable, given that English isn't Fortier's mother tongue. So during the roast of Fortier, the speaker made mention of a verbal goof Fortier had made back at another banquet. Fortier had noted there were some vegetarian women in the audience, and he said he went over to sample some of the vegetarian women in order to make sure they were happy with the food they had received. Now, Fortier obviously meant to say he had surveyed the women, not sampled them. It's a true story, and it's a funny story about a francophone who innocently mispronounced an English word, thereby creating a double entendre. Now, whether you're male or female, vegan or meat eater, who wouldn't get a chuckle out of that? Oh, but it was not to be, folks, because soon after the roast, an open letter began circulating at the conference. It was later released online with 26 signatures, yes, 26, most of whom were graduate or postgraduate students from universities across Canada. And they were shocked, I tell you, shocked by that horribly sexist remark. Here's how the letter reads, quote, "We were stunned and offended by the statements. Comments that frame women as a buffet to sample are deeply offensive. The trivialization of these behaviors at a professional event illustrates the deeply embedded sexist culture that exists in this field and this organization," end quote. In a post-media story, Frank Tester, a professor of sociology at the University of British Columbia, said he too signed the letter after speaking with some female researchers. Tester noted, "Some of the women were on the verge of tears. That one joke was bad enough to trigger a whole bunch of people, including myself," end quote. Quick question, is Tester still in possession of his testicles? Just wondering. In the aftermath, the ArcticNet board issued an apology, and then a second apology. The board is now hopeful that this terrible incident will serve as a, quote, teaching opportunity to understand the complexities of these things, end quote. Huh? So there you go, folks. Like the workplace and the university campus, the roast is now apparently off limits when it comes to speech that might offend. Moving forward, I guess the folks running roasts are going to have to embrace that old chestnut. If you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. Granted, should future roasts operate by this proviso, these events are going to be oh so very boring. But then again, I guess that's a small price to pay if it means that no precious hothouse flowers are going to end up being shocked and offended by a double entendre. For the Rebel.Media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Like what you just saw? Then click subscribe below and never miss another Rebel video.